To be determined, Friday Show, episode 14, attempt number 2. The first one got froze. As we were saying before, which no one heard, it's been a while.
Just kidding, I'm not frozen.
Oh my god, I thought you froze again. This is really good audio here, Trebs.
Hey, we're men of the people sometimes. Sometimes you get busy at different times.
True.
It's weird because, it's just like this weave of not being able to do stuff at different times, the two of us.
Yeah, I'm good on a Thursday,
syncing up.
And you're not. And then you're good on a Friday, and I'm not. And it's like, it's bad. It's bad. But we're together again, sir.
Willy
Wonka.
My response.
Is that Willy Wonka getting brought up into the mix there?
No, it's a
Oh, all right. Oh, in the hair. There it is.
I don't remember what that's from, but it's definitely not Willy Wonka.
I thought it was Willy Wonka. I'm sorry. I don't know why. It's really bad of me.
Augustus Gloop.
I got
He's still stuck in that tube. It's an issue.
It's a lot of growth. Listen, he's getting a lot of protein though. The chocolate milk, there's good protein in there.
Yeah, I don't think there's any whey in there though. He's just way out of luck. Boo!
That was such a dad joke. It was so good.
No kids. No kids. No kids.
Oh yeah, There we go. All right, first topic on the rundown: Cuse versus Central Michigan. The question here: it's week 3. They're 1-1. I think they're going 1-11. Is week 3 a must-win for Syracuse football?
Well, according to you, it is. Well, I mean, gosh, the ACC is going to be tough. I'm not sure if they're as good as last season, but there's not many non-conference games in this schedule, and it ends with LSU. So if you want any sort of momentum.
At LSU.
Yes. Oh, yeah, because they came to the Dome last year. Well documented, very interesting. If you want any sort of momentum, and you're not going to have full momentum because you're not going to beat LSU, going into ACC play, you're going to have to win this game.
Yeah. It's a must-win game for Syracuse.
Now, they're going to get a little bit of help in the fact that Central Michigan, they lost some big pieces. I mean, Cooper Rush, he's, I think, the 4th-string quarterback or 3rd-string quarterback. Gosh, I hope the Cowboys didn't keep 4. That's just not good GMing. So Cooper Rush is the Cowboy. Tony Anise, he ended up leaving as well. I don't know if he's with an NFL team, so there's no free safety clout that Eric Duncan's going to have to throw to. Maybe as good as that. But, I mean, Shane Morris comes over from Michigan. He was a massive, massive recruit for Michigan. Quarterback, he's doing very well through the first couple of weeks here.
Yep.
Didn't work. Used his compass. Went to go find Central Michigan after Ann Arbor didn't work out. So they have pieces.
Well done.
You cannot get around directional teams in Michigan, in Maction, just in general. I think it was that directional team. Maybe not the Michigan aspect is what Matt Hosworth said when we were talking Syracuse football a few weeks ago. But, God, I mean, Eastern Michigan beat Rutgers. Western Michigan, which is a shell of what they were last season, gave Sam Darnold and USC all they could handle. Mm-hmm. Central is at their turn. That's the real question.
This Central Michigan team is still good.
Yeah.
I know, as you said, they lost a lot, but this is still a good football team. And right now, we don't know whether Syracuse is a good football team. We just don't know. We know there's good pieces there, but that doesn't make a good football team.
Yeah, like we were mentioning, I mean, Steve Ishmael on offense and Zaire Franklin on defense, they have future NFL players. What do they have around that?
Ishmael is, I don't want to say he's a pleasant surprise because you expected him to step up into this role, but it's nice to see him fulfill expectations.
Yeah, take that next step.
Exactly. Where some guys would crumble under the pressure of being that number 1 wideout. He has thrived in it. Now, I get it's against 2 shaky football teams, but one you lost to. And one you lost to that was to a former coach who recruited Ishmael. So, it's a positive. That you're trying to look for positives. To me, Zaire Franklin was always going to be a positive this year.
Yeah.
It's can he stay healthy? And of course, can Eric Dungy stay healthy? And so far, Dungy's staying healthy, but the real issue is that this football team cannot run they can't run the ball. They can run it when Dungy wants to run it, and it makes you have to guard 11, which is a little different. But they have to get Dante Strickland going. Strickland was a big-time recruit coming out of the backfield, coming out of Florida. That's a guy that has to get going. Frankly, he needs to put up 100 and a touchdown against Central Michigan. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's the expectation that I would have.
And it's ironic that you explained it with the terms Eric Dungy's health and Eric Dungy consequently needing to run the ball more because of the fact they're not getting any out of their normal halfbacks, because those two things go hand in hand. I mean, Matt Hosserman was on talking about what they did in the first game where he got flipped. The guy cannot, with his injury history, twice it was.
Yeah, I think it was twice.
Oh, my gosh. Where this guy has to be a little bit more safe. And it's not all on him. I mean, he's just doesn't have any help.
Yeah. The O-line's got to be better. To me, it all starts with the O-line. But Strickland has got to find a hole. He's got to find some daylight somewhere. Even if it's not the original hole and it gets plugged, he's a quick, shifty back. Use the speed. I don't know if there's a lingering injury of some kind that we're unaware of, and I'm not saying that there is, but you got to have more production out of this guy. Plain and simple. Anything else on Cuse?
It'd be really bad if they lost. It would be pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they lose, it's 1-11, my man.
Like on paper, or at least with the rosters, it wouldn't be horrible. But after losing last week, it would be horrible.
Demoralizing mentally, because you're going to go down to LSU in a primetime game at LSU. Yay. Coach O going to be all sorts of fired up. All right, we'll go from the Coach O impression to the Bills. We did a recap last time, kind of week one. We didn't get too much of a preview, but we dabbled with FOTS Matt Beauvais, who was thrilled to be called a FOTS, by the way. Listen, he's been a FOTS from day one, so I don't know why it's just like a...
I guess we didn't do a good enough job of instilling that in him because, he's been FOTS for a while now.
I know. It's all right. Young Fots. I think that's got to be his nickname, Young Fots. Bills at Carolina. Carolina was a shaky team. Last year they were horrendous. Cam still seems like he's battling that shoulder injury. The Bills did what they had to do in week one. They fulfilled the expectations. Now the tests start for this team.
It's very interesting because they certainly didn't plan it this way. But there's so many connections between these two teams.
Yeah.
And Sean McDermott was there last year. He was there all 6 seasons that Cam Newton's been in the NFL. He was with the Panthers, both of those guys. And they have, I think by design to a certain degree, after him and Brandon Beane came over, they have a quartet of very recent Panthers. I mean, a couple in Joe Webb III and Kalen Clay who are very, very recent. But in Mike Tolbert and John Scott from Spectrum News had a one-on-one with Mike Tolbert, and he said even the new guy there, I forget his name, that is GMing the Panthers, said that he thought that he's deteriorating a little bit in terms of his talent, Mike Tolbert.
Really?
And he had a pretty good week last week when he was out there, and Jonathan Williams isn't here anymore, so he is the backup. I think he's going to chip on the shoulder or not with what was said by that new GM. I think he's going to have one hell of a game. Well, mix in with Leonard Johnson, that's foursome.
To your point, Jonathan Williams is no longer here. So the Bills obviously have enough confidence in Tolbert to let a young back go. A young running back, which is the name of the game in the NFL, young running backs, because they get burnt out quickly. And the Bills got 2 guys that, Shady's still under 30, but for all intent and purposes is a 30-year-old running back. And Tolbert, obviously, over the hill in that regard. But both don't look like it. Neither look like they're anywhere near 30 at this point. So... you mentioned the spring in his step week one. Maybe it's against a bad Jets team, but obviously, as you mentioned, the added motivation here to go play against Carolina is just too perfect. Panthers beat up on a bad San Francisco team. The Niners might be the second worst team. Like I think I had the Bills anywhere from I think I said 3rd or 4th to 7th worst in the league. Mm-hmm. I think you definitely put the Niners as second worst. Their offense,
at least in that conversation. Yeah.
Their offense just no good. So I don't know that either team was terribly tested week one. This might be a decent test because I don't think either team's very good. Carolina's defense seems to be the strong point out of all this. The question mark becomes, what can the Bills' defense do? And I think we point right to Mr. Big Stuff, 99, Marcel Darius. He was just another guy in week 1. He can't be that.
Yeah, and that's where their clout lies in the defensive end. It's obviously in that defensive line.
Yeah.
And he played, I think, under 50% of the snaps. And he's getting paid a lot of money. That was a big talk this week in the practice days and media availability there at One Bills Drive. Mm-hmm. That's something that's really got to get going.
What were the storylines that you were out there Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken?
I was.
What were the storylines Wednesday?
There wasn't many because, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Past the obvious one of the Carolina Panthers connections there.
Yep.
And honestly, a lot of people thought Philly Brown was going to make this team. Philly Brown started and wound up the last couple seasons in Carolina and ended up getting cut. So there's only 4 as opposed to 5. Mm-hmm. But that was the big one. I mean, obviously Marcel Darius. I think it was Sal Capaccio from WGR. He's the Bills sideline reporter. He said to not look too much into the fact that Darius didn't play a lot in terms of percentage of the snaps for a guy that's such a big part, at least by name, in this defense, in this team as a whole. Because he said that a lot of times McDermott would play 8 defensive linemen when he was there with the Panthers under Ron Rivera. Mm-hmm. And a lot of guys, regardless of how much they're getting paid, were playing less than 70%, less than 50% of the snaps, a lot around 30% of the snaps. This is just something he does. But regardless, I don't think those Panthers teams had as little going on in the other parts of the defense as this team does. I mean, I will say the new guys and then secondary, Trey White had a couple of pass breakups.
Yep.
Mike Hyde and Jordan Poyer had picks. So they're maybe overachieving, but that defensive line, it's where it's got to be.
Yeah. The name of the game in today's NFL is to have a good quarterback or have guys that can get to the quarterback. And Darius is one of those guys. He's a run blocker. He's obviously best in the run. They got to get him. He's got to get going. And I don't know what's going to motivate the guy. He's getting paid all the money in the world. So I don't know if it's pride, if it's fines, whatever it's got to be to get him going. He's got to start to get those wheels churning because 3-4 years ago, he was simply dominant. And he has not been the past 2 seasons.
And you mentioned how low San Francisco is right now in the NFL. But even with that, Christian McCaffrey did not have as great of a debut as a lot of people thought that he would. Mm-hmm. And Jonathan Stewart maybe overachieved to kind of balance that out, but I think they might need both of them this week. So, hey, if they can play well, they might be able to exploit that because it looked like San Francisco surprisingly did to a certain degree.
Not a must-win for the Bills because I don't think anyone pegs this team to win. As you said, 4 games. I went 5 just to be a little different, but you struggle to find 5 wins here. What is this a week we're going to learn a lot about the Bills or not a whole lot just because the opponent isn't great?
Well, we were talking right before we came on about Charles Clay and the fact that there's not a lot of times over his Bills career where he's been at 100% health-wise.
Yeah.
He had to be relied upon a lot in the passing game last week.
Yep.
And something we talked about on episode 28 is Jordan Matthews. Hey, he hasn't had a lot of reps even in the preseason, even in training camp, practice coming into week 1 with Tyrod Taylor because of him being added when he was. Mm-hmm. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if he is true number 1, if it really looks like he can be that in terms of a connection with Tyrod Taylor.
I'm still waiting for your boy Zay to take over here.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like there's a true number 1 on this team in terms of a wideout. Yeah, it's probably Jordan Matthews by default because of experience and whatnot. But Zay certainly has the potential, and that's always been the word with Zay so far. It's been potential. We know we can catch the football. He's got to get open. You got to be able to get open.
Preseason, week 1, very disappointing
in
that regard. And I know he's a rookie, but a lot of times rookies, when they're in tough situations like he is on a team that really, really needs him to hit that potential sooner than later, a lot of times they step up. I mean, it's very early, so I'm hoping that he does it very soon here because I think that, like you said, the potential is there.
Anything else Bills related?
It's going to be very interesting this week. Kind of like Syracuse football. I mean, they're not expected to win. They're 8-point underdogs. I'm surprised it's not more than that, even though the Panthers were bad last season. But you don't want it to exacerbate the success to really kind of stink through the organization of both of these teams we've talked about so far. So a win would be very, very good for both.
I'll tell you this much, too. What was it, 3 years ago? Or no, was it 4 years? What was EJ's rookie year, 2013?
Yes. I'm not actually quite sure.
Maybe it was 14. Did he get drafted in
darting
14?
eyes.
No, Sammy got drafted in 14. There are a lot of bad drafts in a row there. It was EJ's rookie year. I think it was the second game of the season or first or second game of the season. EJ had a come-from-behind victory. Stevie Johnson caught the game-winning touchdown. So it must have been 13. It was 13 because Stevie Johnson was still on the team. And it was against the Carolina Panthers. Cam, obviously a member of that team. I wonder how much that plays into the Panthers' mindset of, and I get it was a long time ago, but, I mean, they got embarrassed up in Buffalo.
I bet it does for Cam. I can't speak to the rest.
Right.
Well, I can't really speak to Cam, obviously. I mean, I only talk to him like once a week. So
Say you're dialed in there.
But I bet the kind of competitor he's shown at points during his college career, during his NFL career, I bet he remembers.
No, interesting. All right, let's go to the last topic. Canelo versus Triple G. And actually, I might add a topic after this, but Canelo, Triple G. What do you got?
I think it's going to be Triple G.
You like Triple G?
I like Triple G. I mean, but Canelo, I know both of them, more so with Canelo, are a little bit more compact. I mean, that's just part of the weight class as well.
Yeah.
He's so powerful looking. I've been watching 24/7. He looks like he's packed on a little bit.
Dude, he does.
In the weight class, no less.
I agree. He's a mean-looking dude.
Remember the first time I really watched a Golovkin fight from start to finish? It was ironically against Rochester and William Monroe Jr., who I think it's a bad decision. He is going He is going for the middleweight title on the same day. It's too bad that because he's not going to get the exposure that maybe he deserves, especially going for a belt. But it's on Saturday the 16th as well. So that was my first fight where I saw Golovkin all the way through, and he dismantled him. Okay. And they were saying, I don't know if it was an HBO, so a Kellerman Lampley commentated fight, but they were saying this is the most anyone's ever tested Golovkin before his most recent one. He dominated. He dominated William Monroe Jr., who is very good, obviously. So just to see the way he can dominate and just see it in his eyes, just like, I mean, I'm going to go through you.
Golovkin
just has it.
Yeah, Golovkin's a different dude. He really is. I like Triple G for only one reason. His first fight in America was in upstate New York, just down the road from me at Turning Stone Resort and Casino, where golf guru Marty Nowicki works. So
Marty was in his ring, or was in his corner.
Right, did Marty walk him in? We'll have to confirm with him.
He was the cut guy.
He's the cut. A lot of Vaseline, a lot of oils. Yeah. Some ice in there, whatever it is.
So we have the same pick.
Yeah, I like Golovkin too. And, it's probably going to be Canelo by a knockout because Canelo's just a younger dude. And you're right.
Yeah.
You get suckered into these 24/7s. It's just like with training camp. I'm all in on the Bucks. I think the Bucks are going to win the Super Bowl now because you're like, oh my god, this team's amazing.
Fantasy.
Yes, I don't know what it is. It's just, I guess it's the exposure. You're like, oh my god. I'm like, the Bucks are never going to lose a game. Look at this team, Meanwhile,
it's Liam Schreiber's fault.
Believe it or not, Liv. Oh man, but you're right. Canelo looks like an absolute animal in these training sessions, and that's what
he's huge.
He looks like a little pit bull out there.
Yeah, he's massive.
Little. He's a massive pit bull. And Triple G's taller, but not by much, and he's a little leaner. And so I'm like, oh my god, he's going to punch right through him.
Yeah, he's definitely leaner.
You know what? I think I like, it's hard to say you like Golovkin for the experience because actually Canelo's had more fights.
Yeah.
But I almost like Golovkin because of the experience level. I don't know if it doesn't really make sense to me, but that's my argument, I guess.
Yeah, but both guys, it's like different levels of experience, different types of experience. So, yeah.
I don't know. I think my hope is nobody gets knocked out. I hope it goes the distance. I hope it's a split decision, and I hope we get a second fight. That's what I hope.
Yeah. Do you think it'll be better for the excitement of the sport, which this will be big, very, very, very big for it?
Yeah.
If it goes a lot of rounds, but within the last couple there's a knockout, or if it goes like distance. What you just said.
Oh, that's an interesting proposition.
It's the knockout aspect.
Yes,
but
that's a good twist.
It's a really, really brawl fight. where both guys are really going at it, and there's a lot of big shots for both.
I
And
don't
maybe
think
a
we're
couple
gonna get
knockdowns.
I don't think we're gonna get a brawl. I think we're gonna get a good boxing match because
Yeah.
I think both of these guys are good boxers, and
Yeah.
neither of them are. While both of them have brawled, I just don't think it's in their strong. I don't think it's either one of their strengths, is what I should say.
Yeah.
And I think both corners aren't going to want to get into
Yeah.
a brawl because I think from Golovkin's standpoint, you see Canelo and you see the strength. And then from Canelo's standpoint, you see what a warrior Triple G is, and you think, if he gets one shot on my guy, is that going to be the shot that gets him?
Yeah.
I don't think we get that. Now, to your question about the knockdown, I think it would be better with a knockdown late round.
Really?
Is it scheduled for 12? I want to say it's scheduled for 12. So let's say it happens in the 11th.
I would expect it, yeah.
If it happens in the 11th, okay. Listen,
It would have to happen late.
It would have to happen late. If it happens in like the 7th round, I'm going to be real disappointed. In particular, and I'm not saying that these two fights are connected anyway, but because we got almost 10 in Mayweather-McGregor, you can't go less than 10 here. You cannot go. Listen, I think this is the perfect follow-up fight for boxing. Frankly, I'm surprised MMA didn't jump on a bigger fight sooner.
Yeah.
Because this is now, listen, both sports got attention off this fight, and now boxing is capitalizing on it, where MMA is not. Right after. I mean, literally right after. Yeah. What was it, 20 days after, something like that?
Yeah. Oh, 3 weeks, yeah.
Something like, well, yeah, whatever. The boxing, and I don't want to say they lucked out, but wisely scheduled the fight that everyone wanted. And I think it was actually, was this one scheduled before Mayweather-McGregor?
I thought it was right around the same time.
All right, either way, it's either dumb luck or on purpose. Either way, it's good for boxing.
Yes.
In this regard. I think it's very good for boxing. So, I hope there's a good fight. All right, I got one more topic to throw at you, and I'm embarrassed.
Surprise topic.
I did not have this in the initial rundown. Cleveland, 21 in a row for the Indians, and they are down now in, I believe, the bottom of the 9th at home against Kansas City. We should have had Fox Tommy Martin on for this. They're down 2-1. They have not trailed for many innings of this amazing streak that they've been on. They've been trailing since the 6th inning.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. You can listen back to episode 28 because I actually said what the official stat was, but something crazy like 4 innings amongst all of those games. What was it, 17 at the time?
Yeah.
They had trailed. So, I mean, for them to be trailing this long in this game is huge.
I'm amazed that they're even trailing. I get Kansas City's a good team, but they're below 500, so they're clearly not the team they were a couple years ago.
And what's weird this year and why they're underachieving is the fact that there's a lot of the same pieces there.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. They're underachieving.
So I think they eclipsed the Moneyball record, which I think was 20 in a row.
Yes, they now have the record. They're just trying to beat their own record at this point.
The New York baseball giants, I believe, had upwards of like 26, 27 in that neighborhood.
Mm.
But this was like the 30s, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, is like the all-time record for most wins in a row. But this is obviously for the modern record. They surpassed it by 1. I mean, this is to me an incredible feat. And as we talked to a good friend of the show, the coach of the show, Steve Malero, I'm just amazed mentally how you can do this game after game after game.
Because it's the end of the season. They've been through so many games already this season. Well, you think it'd be a little bit taxing.
Yes, not only that, but in baseball, inevitably you get used to losing because you can't win them all in baseball.
Yeah, and you can't get down on yourself for losing one game on 162.
Baseball is a sport of a lot of losing. It's pitches that don't go the right way. It's at the plate, you strike out or you get called out more often than you actually get a hit and get on base. It's a sport that has losing in the fabric of it, really. And given that there's 162 games, as we just mentioned, you lose a bunch over a season. To win 21 in a row, and what looks like it may get stopped at 21 in a row here, I'm constantly refreshing here to try to get the update. I just lost my feed.
Ooh!
Oh, not good. Oh well. Um,
But it's the whole joke where you
Yeah.
make the cliche joke about something that's not baseball, but saying, hey, if I was in the MLB, I'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Right,
Because, like, when under 300 or under 30% is very good, or Hall of Fame numbers to a certain degree as a hitter getting into the Baseball Hall of Fame, that's a pretty big point to what you're saying, and the fact that it's more negative than positive. You really want to whittle it down to that when you look at baseball as a whole. I mean, they're not going 80. Yeah, I mean, they're not going 80% of the time they're at the plate.
Tommy tweeting out that there's 2 outs. So I've gone to Twitter now, so they're an out away from the streak ending. But still, 21. I mean, it's impressive. Somebody tried saying, and I can't remember where I heard this. What's more impressive, going undefeated or going 20 games in a row in the NFL, or 20 wins in baseball? And I just don't think you can compare the two.
Because they're playing so frequently.
Yeah, I don't. The comparison to me just gets thrown out. It's no good.
Obviously, NFL, it's over a longer period of time, obviously.
Right.
But I mean, there's usually like a week or so. I mean, maybe not a full week, but a week in between.
I think the Patriots have 21 in a row. Is the record, the NFL record?
But hey,
something like that.
The modern record is there. I mean, they already had the modern record, so this was all just gravy. And maybe they want to come back down to earth a little bit before like this last 10, 15 games on their schedule anyways, before they go into the postseason. They kind of, bring them back down to earth. And you can't talk about this streak without the Cleveland Indians Twitter account, how awesome it's been.
Yes, good point.
For Windians, where they're changing the hashtag and the Twitter name and adding a W every time until I think they ran out of 20, though. So I don't even think they had enough W's for 21.
Live update, the Indians have tied it.
Wow.
I'm trying to find. This is all Twitter. I'm solely relying on Tom Martin right now to fill us in.
He's a strapping young lad.
Oh, I got to get to a different website here. Let's try MLB.com.
Oh,
I think it's the actual Indians website here.
MLB.com is the go-to. Go to the overall page. Yeah.
The overall page?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna.
Yeah, the game
tied at 2, and the Indians have a man on second. This could go to 22 before we get off the air. Oh my goodness! What action here? I'm gonna try to click live here, if I can. It's probably gonna make a little bit of music here. Good filler. Good filler. Oh, good commercial. It's just what I wanted to see. There's 2 outs and now no one on. It looks like. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, that means it's over. Yeah.
And 9, 3 outs. Yep.
I just saw it. This one and 9. That's probably why, because they're updating shit. That's probably why it was
slow.
Being weird. Yeah.
All right, so we'll sign off before the Indians either make it 22 or inevitably fall.
I'm gonna say they won. They won, guys.
Okay, good call.
It's 22.
And then we'll go another and say, well, they lost, but it was a good effort, right? I mean, it was what a way to go out in extras.
No, they won. They still won.
All right. Who do we got on this week?
We have, I mentioned John Scott from Spectrum News.
Yeah.
His colleague going to Charlotte, Andy Young. He is recurring friend of the show.
Yeah.
Hashtag FOTS. He is going to come on to talk Panthers-Bills.
That sweet, sweet voice of Andy's.
Oh, he is. And he put his whole fist in his mouth the last time he was on.
Oh, my God. I feel so bad that I want to say we made him do it, but he volunteered, and we were not going to turn that down.
Yeah, it had to happen.
It had to.
It just had to happen. But you're right. It's hard to get a more buttery voice.
Ah, it's so good. We'll never have those pipes, Travs. I'm so disappointed.
Man, when I go through throat puberty here, oh, God, here shortly.
Well, I guess we got a title for this one.
Throat puberty. I had to finish that up because that just sounds...
Very disturbing. All right, we'll see everyone on Monday. Travs, I'll see you on Sunday.
Indians were going for, 25 straight at that point?
Yeah, something like that.